Warning: Channel Robozoid contains adult language, adult content, strong opinions, and verbal brutality. Viewer discretion is advised.
Worry that states, districts all over the country now will just go tit for tat trying to do this, not every 10 years, but whenever they feel the need.
I certainly think that that is a fair concern, which is why absolutely when Democrats take a majority in the House of Representatives, my hope and expectation will be that there will be serious conversations about redistricting reforms and the process by which all 50 states will take on redistricting efforts. But I think essential to the conversation, as I mentioned, in Virginia, was our commitment to our bipartisan commission. And so I think it's important that every step along the way, we weren't saying, okay, this is the new normal of this kind of tit for tat. We were saying at this moment, we are taking a responsive and temporary step, and we in the Commonwealth of Virginia are committed to getting back to that bipartisan commission. So I think that that was an essential part of the discussion.
Hello, it is I, the Robozoid, your semi-likable and occasionally tolerable curmudgeon of both the Rumble and YouTube airwaves. We have to talk about, of course, the state of Virginia and its supposed governor, one Abigale Spanberger. I've been saying Spamberger for so long that that's what I just thought she was. By the way, I don't like spam! But in any case, we have to talk about what's going on here with the, with the rigging and gerrymandering of the Virginia election, which actually, of course, the entire top portion of the state of Virginia was once a very red district. I mean, very Republican-controlled, and now, of course, it is blue territory because apparently there's some shenanigans going on here based on what Abigale Spanberger, a corrupt dictator of a governor, is actually doing to the state. I mean, it seems like she's pretty much allowing D.C. suburban housewives to pretty much dictate how the election is going to go for rural Virginia, and that's just not right. It is beyond wrong. It is irresponsible, and it should be illegal. Actually, I think it is, but hey, it's different if you're a Democrat. Let's just have a look at some of the news reports, and you'll see exactly what I mean. You see, this entire red portion of Virginia here, this, districts 5 through 9, they honestly used to be, well, the very reddest of red areas of Virginia, but now they've all pretty much switched blue except for District 9. I'm not talking about the movie, of course, but with the exception of District 9, the entire top portion of Virginia has pretty much flipped blue. And of course, this did not happen legally, and it did not happen legitimately. This obviously was a rigging and gerrymandering done by the Democrat Party in order to basically control the Virginia midterm election so that there would be pretty much no Republicans left in the Senate. Which basically went this way. They started out with, I guess, maybe 15 of them. Now there's only one Republican representative. And of course, well, that one vote can actually be canceled out by the other 14. This, of course, is wrong. And, well, it's like I said earlier, nothing is going to be done about it.
On the redistricting referendum, we've been watching all night. Allie, what do you got?
We can now call that Virginia voters have voted in favor of a referendum to allow for the redistricting of federal House districts in the state of Virginia, which will allow Democrats now to take 3 to 4 seats, depending on how things go in the midterm elections. We have 82% of the vote in across Virginia. 50.28 has voted in favor of the referendum, 49.72. Now, you might say that feels close with 82% of the vote in. The issue is this, that all of those states, all of those counties and districts that have voted against it, that vote came in pretty early. The 2 big counties where we still don't have as much of the count in yet is 51% in Fairfax County. This is the biggest county, Northern Virginia. It's the biggest county in the entire state. We know how this goes in Virginia. So right now it's trending 71 to 29. The percentage there is probably going to stay the same or go higher. That is the case in a few counties around D.C. although most of these are almost complete, 95% there, 97% there. The other thing to do is go around Richmond, where, again, 60% of the vote is in. That's 81-18. Again, 40% of the way to go there. We're likely to see the margins run up, which is why at 82% we're able to call this.
Ali Velsh.
Okay, I don't like to do this to you viewers. I hate to do this. I really hate punishing you in this fashion. But it looks like we have a little debate panel on CNN all about the whole gerrymandering situation, which, of course, most of the people on the panel, well, pretty much went this way with the whole thing, except for one, the token blonde, who thankfully actually did manage to get it right. So maybe she might be the only shining light in this area of darkness and stupidity. Take a look.
Like, what is that, you know?
But I have to ask, like,
Democrats have passively sat by as Republicans gerrymandered?
well, it's not that
That's
they
a big
actively
lie.
sat by. They used to say this is a threat to democracy. You don't get to choose your voters. It should be the other way around. I mean, Obama gave very compelling remarks on these things. And so was that a lie?
No.
Or
Like was that?
okay,
No,
but so it's okay to
But
threaten
fact
democracy and
patterns fact
destabilize.
patterns changed, and what this fact pattern did was that Donald Trump called and said, "I'm trying to rid this next election."
And
because
he's so
By the way, this is a passage from Ken Cuccinelli II. I'm just going to read the last part of it because the rest of it, the entire top portion, is just a complete bitch to get through, and I don't have the time for it. In which he says, "This is going to move fast." Yeah, no shit, Skippy, you think? Not in the usual court speed. Look for another Tazewell ruling as early as this week, and briefing in the Virginia Supreme Court this week. So yeah, you know there's some definite gerrymandering and rigging involved here. And you know something? That's exactly the point that Ken Cuccinelli made when he was on Scott Jennings' solo CNN show. Take a look.
Yeah, Scott, this is going to move very fast in Virginia's courts. The precedent here is that the Supreme Court wouldn't touch a case until after the referendum. They consider that part of the legislative process, just like the governor signing or vetoing a bill. So there's no reason to have a lawsuit, or at least to hear and decide it until after that's done. Well, now the yes folks with 4-1 spending have won by about 2 or 3 points, and it is time to get on with the lawsuits. And the yes folks probably are going to look back at Tuesday and think that was the easy part, because they have so badly violated several constitutional provisions. Mind you, we're talking about the state constitution of Virginia, not the federal constitution, that they're going to have a hard time keeping this from being voided by the Virginia Supreme Court. So that's what's next. Briefs are due tomorrow at the Virginia Supreme Court. They're going to have oral argument on Monday. There's another case coming up out of a circuit court in Southwest Virginia that's being heard today, and I imagine will be consolidated or play catch up with the case right now in front of the Virginia Supreme Court. So this is going to go very fast. I think we're going to have a final ruling in May, best guess. And I'm not a betting man, but if I were, I'd be betting on no in the courts, even though they lost by a couple of points. Yes.
So, yeah, definitely shenanigans going on. There's some gerrymandering happening here, rigging of the elections, and it's all because Abigale Spanberger wants to hold on to power. She just wants to hold on to that power so much because what do you expect from a Democrat? They're all a bunch of simpering, pathetic little freaks that want to turn the rest of the country into freaks. And you know what? I'm afraid they're winning. They really are winning, so I don't see how there's that much good news here. I mean, obviously you had the token blonde on CNN during that debate panel who got it. She understood it. She understood that Obama actually did the very same thing in the 2012 election, probably in the 2008 election as well. So, yeah, there you go. Irrefutable proof the Democrats are indeed gerrymandering these elections in the midterms to their favor. Not just in the state of Virginia, but in a lot of other different states as well. I mean, California is definitely a biggie of that. And of course, now California they got rid of, what's-his-face, Eric Fartswell, and now they're looking for somebody else, probably Katie Portley. Jesus, that would be a nightmare for Californians. But in any case, well, then the gerrymandering will continue. There's not a Republican out there who is going to do anything about it, with the possible exception of President Trump, of course. But you got to keep this in mind. Evil only exists and happens not because it's pure evil out there. It's because there aren't enough good people out there who are willing to do anything about it. This has been the Robozoid saying, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you did, you guys know what to do. And of course, well, check me out on Rumble, check me out on ScrewTube, check me out, just check me out there in those places. And remember, of course, that wokeness is weakness, and, well, cheating only gets you far if you're a Democrat. But they're accusing Republicans of doing it, and that is absolute bullshit. This has been the Robozoid reminding you, of course, be here or be absolutely nowhere.